Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to Skill Builders, where we give you just the information you need to build a new skill. Today, Camille and I will be covering some of the more technical aspects of setting up your blog in our series on blogging.
That's right. Last week we talked a little bit about determining if you wanted to start a blog. This week we're going to be talking about what to do now that you've decided. And the first question that you need to ask yourself is, do you want to self-host or do you want to have a vendor host for you? Now, some of the pros of having a vendor host for you is that they offer you pre-made templates. They're very user-friendly. They often work in a drag and drop type of setting, and for a new blogger, they're quite economical. Some of the cons are that they're not as customizable. You have to kind of take what they give you and work with what they give you, and then sometimes you end up with a generic URL, which bothers some people. Now, we'll be covering vendor hosting because self-hosting requires quite a bit of knowledge on coding, and
it's just more expensive because you almost have to have your IT department there to help you manage that and maintain it. So vendor hosting is the best way to go for the majority of the bloggers out there.
We just want to help you get up and running as fast as possible.
One of the first things you're going to want to consider when setting up your blog is your domain name. Now, there's two things you want to consider when setting up your domain name. The first one is, do you want to have it keyword based? What do I mean by keyword based is, if you're doing a blog on movies, you may want to have the word movie in your title. For example, I might have my blog be titled themovieblog.com. That would be an example of a keyword-based URL. Another one might be thebestwidgetsblog.com, something like that. So I have that tied to something that's important to the topic that I'll be covering in my blog. The second type of domain name is a brandable domain name, and this one is more centered around your brand, not necessarily what you do. For a good example here is thehuffingtonpost.com. That's centered around the brand, the Huffington Post. Another example would be bluematter.org, centered around the brand, not necessarily what they talk about on that. So those are the things that you want to consider when setting up your domain name. Now, as you begin to choose that, there's a couple things you want to consider. The first is you want your domain name based on your goals. And remember, you want your blog to grow, so you don't want to outgrow your domain name. So consider that. Choose it based on your goals. Make it easy to type. No special characters, no strange spellings, things like that. Keep it simple. And then second part of that is make it easy and keep it short. By doing that, it makes it so I go to a party, I can say, hey, what's your blog? It's joesblog.com versus supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.com. Nobody wants to type that. Nobody can type it. You'll never be found.
Now, once you've decided your domain name and that you want to have a vendor host your blog, it's important to decide what vendor you want to use. There are all sorts of options out there, and unfortunately, they're not really buffet style. You kind of need to take whatever that vendor offers you. But luckily, there are lots of them to choose from. There's blogger.com, and they're a Google-based vendor, and so they're very easy to use. There's wordpress.com and wordpress.org. They're different, and so you need to find out the differences between them. There's Wix, Tumblr, Typepad, and a lot more. We've actually provided a link below that you can click on that gives a little bit of a comparison of some of the advantages and disadvantages of a lot of these popular blogging vendors. What's most important is that you just, again, define your goals and figure out which one helps you to accomplish those goals.
That's really what it boils down to, is where do you want to go and which vehicle will get you there the best. You know, you might not have to start off with a Ferrari, but you want to get something that you can upgrade as that time comes. So today, that's been our Skill Builder episode on setting up your blog, or the basics to setting up your blog. Now, this is a series that we're working on. The first of the series was trying to decide, do you want to blog or not? What's coming up next in the series, Camille?
We're actually going to be talking about the tools that are available to you now that you've got your basic run-of-the-mill blog set up, what you're going to do with it next, the setting it up, the template, the plugins that are available to you, and getting content in there. So it's going to be a lot of things that we'll be covering, so check back often.
Very good. I'm Jeff, and this has been Camille. Still is Camille.
Still.
Yeah.
It is.
And this has been Skill Builders, where we give you just the information you need to build a new skill. If you'd like more information on this blogging series, please visit our website at cetrain.isu.edu, where we have more blog articles, go figure. We have some additional videos, and we also have some classes on blogging to help you go take that next step. So until next time, keep learning. Peace out.
Word to your mom.
Word.